All right, so the last topic we're going to talk about today builds on to what we were doing yesterday. Not yesterday, oh my goodness. In the last video, sorry, I'm so used to filming one a day for distance learning. So in the last video, we were doing slope-intercept equation from graph, and we were talking about, okay, when you have a graph, how you can find the slope. And we were talking about two different ways. So one way we were talking about, was just actually counting it, how many you go down and how many you go sideways. The other way we were talking about is actually doing the math. And we were talking about change in y over change in x, like right here. So we are going to actually just practice that skill in this video and in this exercise. So the title is Slope from 2 points because we're given 2 points. Now, it is important to remember that slope is the variable m, okay? And it's rise over run. So it's always rise, so the change in y in the numerator, you do that one first, over run, change in x in the denominator. So the equation I introduced you to that I said don't worry about right now was m, so slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is the equation we are focusing on in this video. And honestly, we've already been using it. We just haven't been using the fancy, proper lingo or jargon. Okay, so let's say, for example, the first question says, what is the slope of the line through, so what is the slope of the line through the point 3, 8, and 1, 0. Okay, so of course you could take some time. It would take quite a bit of time. You could get some graph paper. You could draw the coordinate plane. Okay, yeah, this could have kept going. I just knew that these weren't negative, so I didn't need those. You could graph it 3, 8, so over 3, up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that was 3, 8. And 1, 0, so over 1, up 0. 1, 0. Okay. Connect the dots, make your line. And then you could do, okay, well, I know slope is rise over run. And I know that we read the graph from left to right. So if I'm down here running, I'm running up it, so it's going to be a positive slope. And then you're like, okay, left to right, so let's start with the left point. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I rose 8. Okay. And then I ran sideways, 1, 2, ran to the right, positive 2. So 8 over 2 is my slope. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4. You could do that, but that's very time consuming. So how we're going to do it now is with the equation, which is what we've been doing, where you're basically like, okay, how much did the y change? Well, from 0 to 8, it increased by 8. How much did the x change? Well, from 1 to 3, it increased by 2. Change in y over change in x, divide it, 4. So we're going to show that way with the equation. So the equation is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is just a fancy way of saying change in y, okay? y2, that's just saying, okay, One of these is the first coordinate pair. One of this is the second. So take the y of the second one, okay, 0. So take the y of the second pair that they gave us, okay? Well, I know it's x, y, x, y. I label that because you know what? Honestly, I even get confused sometimes. So take the y value of the second pair, okay, 0, minus, and subtract the y value of the first pair, 8. Okay. Now, go back to the second one. Take the x value of the second one, okay, 1, minus, take the x value of the first one, 3. Okay, and now just simplify. 0 minus 8, negative 8. 1 minus 3, negative 2. Well, negative 8 divided by negative 2 is going to be a positive 4 for the slope. Is that not exactly what we got over here? Sure is. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one we started with, as long as you stay in that same order. So what do I mean by that? We did 0 minus 8 over 1 minus 3. We also could have done, okay, let's say that we're going to start with this pair first. So you do the y minus the y, so 8 minus 0. Now, because we did this pair first for the 8, we need to do it first for the x. 3 minus 1. Well, 8 minus 0 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2, equals 4. So when you do this, the y's better be in the numerator, the x's better be in the denominator. And when you look up and down 0, 1 or 8, 3, those better be the pairs, which they are. So that's how you do it with the equation. Okay, so let's do another one. Because graphing honestly takes a really long time. So unless they give it to you in the graph, it's just not convenient. Okay, so what's the slope of the line that goes through negative 2, negative 6, and 2, 2. Okay, so we need to find the slope using these 2 points. So the first step, just write down that equation. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so what does that mean? So I need to subtract the y values. So y2, so we're going to start with the second y value, 2. Bring down the minus, okay? So I did the second y value minus the first y value. Well, the first y value is right here, negative 6. Okay, now we got to go back to that second x value, 2, minus the first x value, negative 2. So 2 minus a negative 6. What happens when that minus and negative are touching? Well, it turns into a plus. 2 plus 6 is 8. 2 minus a negative 2, same thing, turns into a plus. 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Awesome. So the slope is 2. M equals 2. So basically what you're doing is just what we were doing with the graph. We're saying, okay, change in y, so from negative 6 to 2. Negative 6 to 2 is increasing by 8 to positive 8 over change in x. Negative 2 to 2, well, negative 2 to 2 is increasing by 4. Okay? The third example, so find the slope of the line going through negative 9, 6 and negative 6, negative 9. Okay, so change in y. So to get from 6 to negative 9 over change in x, negative 9 to negative 6. So first let's just get in the habit of writing the equation. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you can start with whichever one you want. It doesn't matter. If you're just like, hey, it says y2, so I'm going to start with the second y first, go for it. If you're like, hey, I know that 6 is positive and that's negative, I want to start with 6, that's fine. For the sake of just consistency, I'm going to start with the second one because it says y2. So xy, this is my first x, my first y. This is my second x, my second y. So take the y value of the second pair. Okay, write it down. So negative 9 minus the y value of the first pair is 6 over x value of the second pair, negative 6 minus x value of the first pair is negative 9. And now all you have to do is simplify. So what is negative 9 minus 6? Negative 15. Same signs add. So 9 plus 6 is 15. Keep the negative sign. Over negative 6 minus a negative 9. So when that minus the negative are touching, that turns into a plus. So negative 6 plus 9. So these are different signs. Negative 6 plus 9, same signs add, different signs subtract. So 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 is bigger and it's positive, so positive 3. So the slope is negative 15 over 3, which we simplify. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And you would get these same answers if you were graphing each one and doing this method. This way just takes a lot longer if it's not already provided. All right, so the last one I want you to try on your own. Okay, so find the slope between these 2 points. Negative 9, negative 6, and 3, negative 9. So subtract the y's over subtract the x's. All right, so pause the video and try this one on your own. Okay, so slope m equals change in y. So y2 minus y1 over change in x. x2 minus x1. Okay, so y2, the second y value. So let me just do this so I don't forget. xy, xy. Okay, so the second y value is negative 9. So it says the second y value minus the first y value, negative 6. Guys, you've got to make sure you put that minus, even if the other one's negative. So second y value, negative 9, minus the first y value, negative 6, over the second x value, 3, minus the first x value, negative 9. So as long as you plug it in correctly, you do y minus y over x minus x, and you go in the same direction. So y minus y, x minus x, and simplify, then you're good. So negative 9 minus a negative 6 turns into a plus. So negative 9 plus 6, negative 3. 3 minus a negative 9. Minus negative turns into a plus. What's 3 plus 9? 12. So let's simplify that fraction. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 divided by 3, negative 1. 12 divided by 3, 4. So the slope is negative 1/4. And again, if you graphed it and did your leaps, you would get the same answer. So this is how you find the slope from 2 points. Okay, and that's how you use the equation. Now, this is a lot of new stuff, guys. Okay, so please ask me for help, ask me for clarification questions, anything. I'm here for you.